Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of horror movies? For this Halloween special on Strange Darkness Radio, we discuss cursed films. Listening to Strange Darkness Radio with Bobby and Tony from the Podbeam Network.
Hey, we're back. A Halloween special. This is Bob.
This is Tony.
Hey, what's up? So yes, we want to give you guys a little Halloween special in between, our shows, just to for all you creepy Halloween goers out there.
And spooky season.
Exactly. So what we're doing tonight is a little special on the behind the scenes of particular movies. So we're going to cover the Poltergeist, and we're going to cover the Omen, two of the well-known creepy and strange and somewhat horrific situations that happened during the filming of these movies and even after.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because I think both movies came out in the 70s, right?
Yes.
Yes. So,
Yep.
And The Exorcist also came out in the 70s too, right? I believe so.
The Exorcist, I'm not sure. I think I want to say it was around 76 or somewhere around there.
That was a decade of just weird ass movies coming out.
Yeah, man, there were some creepy movies, whatever, especially, not having the special effects. And it's funny because now we have all these special effects, and there are, some good horror movies out there. But still, man, those movies, The Exorcist, The Omen, Poltergeist, man, those movies still hold true, to this day as some of the creepiest, horror movies out there. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
My grandpa, he snuck to go see The Exorcist. And when he got home, he said he couldn't sleep for about a day and a half because how scary it was at that time.
Oh, dang. Yeah, it was crazy. I don't think I've ever saw it actually at the theater. I couldn't even imagine that. But no, my parents would not let me go to the theater. I would definitely have to have sneak to catch that flick. But I saw it at home. It was scary enough for me, just being at home, just chilling, still. It was crazy.
And especially when there's movies like this, if you put me in that time, if you put The Exorcist in the time now and have that same effect it did on people back in that time, I wouldn't be able to sleep for about a day.
Yeah.
I'll get freaked out too much. I get scared easily. So.
Oh, okay. Mr. Ouija board and all things paranormal. You actually get scared. I can't see that.
No, I really do, bro. Like you can come up and sneak up behind me and just touch me and I'm screaming, bro. Straight up.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. We might have to, get somebody to scare you during the actual recording. That way, we can catch that scream live on the air. I got to record that. But let's get into the Poltergeist. So let's go ahead and get into it.
They're here.
Sweetheart, when you said they're here, who did you mean?
The TV people.
Do you see them?
Do you?
Something's funny going on here next door.
Mommy?
You're listening to Strange Darkness Radio, coming to you worldwide, broadcasting to all corners of the planet.
Yeah, man, the Poltergeist, man, I did see in the theater, and that was, man, I was scared that night for sure.
Yeah, I didn't see the original one in theaters. I did see it at home at a later age. They did have a prequel, but a remake. I think like 2017, maybe 16, some shit 16. Around there. And that wasn't really that great, But, was
well, it was a total of 3 movies that were done. And all the drama and things that we're going to cover on this, whatever, relates to, you know, how the movie was shot, why things happened the way it happened, as far as, when certain deaths, because 2 of the cast members were actually, you know, killed, one in the third, filming the third movie, and then one filming the second movie. So let's go ahead and get into some of this craziness.
Coincidental cast deaths. Perhaps the most enduringly buzzy aspect of the Poltergeist movie legend is that so many of its cast members, including 2 of the child stars, died unexpectedly after the film was released. The first instance happened when Dominic Dunne, who portrayed Dana in the original film, was strangled to death by her ex-boyfriend in the driveway of her home in 1982, at the age of just 22. Then, in 1988, child star Heather O'Rourke died at the age of 12 from cardiac arrest after experiencing septic shock from a congenital bowel obstruction. She completed filming on the 3rd installment of the Poltergeist franchise a few months before her unexpected death, but the film had yet to be released at the time. Although other cast members would later perish from more natural causes, the expiration of the film's 2 young actresses caused many to speculate that their involvement with the supernatural movie had something to do with their untimely demises.
Yeah, so that's crazy. So and again, I understand, you know, that it was, her boyfriend, for Dominic Dunne, a domestic situation, then he took her life. But it's just the oddities of being, of the things that occurred during the filming of that movie. And, then for the child star to be misdiagnosed with something, because again, a lot of people, man, even me, I was like, I heard she died of pneumonia, during filming, and I was thinking, because there was a lot in that particular episode. I think there was a lot of like water scenes to where she was like, remember it was like, it was something in a underground, cover car garage or whatever, to where they were filming a lot of water scenes or whatever that was happening, with that. And so I was like, oh man, that was wild that, she ended up getting pneumonia, and how did they not know, that she was getting sick and so on and so forth, but it was actually something totally different, Yeah,
man. It's like, is it a coincidence, or is it really a curse that's on the film? But I mean, to me, it seems like it could be a curse and a little bit of a coincidence. Yeah. Just because you are, bringing forth all these bad energy and bad juju, that when, what would have said it wouldn't happen if they didn't do the movie?
Yes.
If they didn't do the movie, would it have been, that these people would have died the way they died, or they would have kept on living? It's really hard to say. We will never know. Yeah,
that's hard to say, because obviously they say she was born with a congenitive birth defect or whatever that somehow clogged her bowels, and that. So I don't know what area she was at the time. Was it that she wasn't her normal doctor that was seeing her? So I'm not sure about all that, but it's just, for her to die at a young age, and, then for the other girl to die, by the hand of her boyfriend at a young age, during the filming of going into the second movie for her. It was just odd. But again, there are more crazy and creepy things. Let's get into it.
On-set oddities. Poltergeist 2 star Will Sampson, who was a real-life shaman and portrayed Taylor the Medicine Man in the sequel, performed an actual exorcism on the set of the film to rid the site of alien spirits. He died a little over a year after the film's release from complications associated with a heart and lung transplant. And during filming of Poltergeist 3, actress Zelda Rubinstein was troubled by a photographic light blur that occurred during a photo session of the actress, leading her to believe that the pic was taken at the exact moment her mother passed away. The production of Part 3 was also an explosive one, as a garage that was to be used for filming caught fire after plastic fake ice poured onto prop cars ignited into flames and injured 3 crew members. A fire chief responding to the scene told the Los Angeles Times, "A ball of fire chased everyone out there. There was black smoke all over the place. This was all supposed to be done with the best of taste, but somehow it got away." The cause of the mishap, he said, was unexplained, since the crew on set were amply prepared to pull off the shot correctly when they began working that night.
Yeah, so that's wild. One, you have a real live shaman, because I didn't know that guy, I thought he was Native American, obviously. You know, in that movie, you can tell. But one, I didn't even know he passed away. But two, for him to actually do, you know, an exorcist, you know, on the set to get rid of, you know, bad spirits or whatever he was exorcising, that's wild, you know, period.
That man, I don't know how people, you know, end up doing that shit and then think that there's nothing wrong with doing it when you're bringing up all these spirits, man. And then, you know, I don't know, bro. It blows my mind, to sit back and witness an exorcist while you're doing a movie that contains a demonic presence.
Yeah,
you know, it just makes no sense to do it. But I mean, some people do it some people do it to kind of banish the bad spirits away. But I mean, does that really work?
Exactly. Yeah. Which you know, there's a lot of little rituals that people have during movie shoots, the starting and the ending, you know, that they do during it, whatever. Some, you know, do it with sage, and they you know, go across whatever set and in their area, whatever, with sage. I mean, look at Kyrie with basketball. He went back to the Boston Garden and used and used sage or whatever in the Boston Garden. That didn't help him at all. But but yeah, so there are little rituals that go on. But I mean, you know, by him doing that and then passing away in 9 months, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, I don't know, things catch up to you. But hopefully, you know, and then the whole fire situation and the fire department talking about there were fireballs that were, you know, chasing them out of the area to fight the fire and stuff like that. That's wild, man. That's crazy.
And then for the Native American guy, you know, the way he died was just really just an act. Not I won't say accident, but it was, you know, doing surgery for a heart lung transplant. So it was in the middle of that he passed away. So it's like, you know,
it's like, you know,
you do the movies and you do real life stuff behind it, and then, you know, 7 months later you die. So it's like, come on now, is that darkness, you know, that followed him from the movie, or from the exorcist he did perform?
Exactly. You know, but again, there are things like that's coming up in this next one that even made matters much worse. Let's check it out.
Real skeletons. Achieving authenticity in a Hollywood production can be tough, especially in the sci-fi horror realm. But this might be taking things a little too far. You know the scene when the freeling mom is thrown in the muddy pool and all these corpses start to float to the surface around her, causing her to scream and freak out? Well, if that reaction seemed especially realistic to you, there may be a reason. Actress Jo Beth Williams revealed during her Reddit AMA, "When we were shooting, I thought the skeletons were fake. I thought the prop department made them. But later I found out they were real skeletons bought very cheaply. That really grossed me out." Talk about suffering for your craft.
That's wild. Now, I would be, man, I don't know if you remember the scene when she was, you know, it was really muddy, all the bones and all that stuff. Everyone thought that those were fake, you know, just props.
And the jaws were opening and everything, bro.
Exactly. No. And you're sitting in there with actual, you know, bodies, and who God knows, you know, who those people were, or, you know, what the circumstances of their deaths, you know, even were. And then the whole, you're playing, you know, out in the movie that this was done on a burial ground, and yet you're using, you know, people's human remains.
Skeletons,
You know, I mean, that's wild. That's crazy. So I'm surprised.
You're asking for trouble right there.
Yeah, exactly.
you know, Disneyland and Pirates of the Caribbean, there's this part where obviously it's a water ride, because you know, you float through and then all these scenes happen.
Yeah.
But there's a bed and there's a skeleton. I think it's implanted in the back of the bed, the head, the back head, whatever that you lay on. You know,
the backrest,
the headboard.
Okay,
the headboard.
I
think it's in there, but that's supposed to be a real life skeleton as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Again, people, you guys are going to hear my Strange Darkness tea that I'm sipping on from time to time. So you're going to hear the clinking, you know, but that's how we do it late night.
which is kind of weird to have a real life skeleton head in a Disney ride.
Oh, for sure, not even a question, man. That is wild. But
you can't just get a fake one.
Exactly.
You gotta get a real one.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the thing about these movies. Is it the bad energy, or is it just happenstance and us, just weird circumstances that, happen during filming based upon the amount of people that you have and just everything else? Or is it, the movie being cursed based upon the situation? But never use live, remains, from actual people, opposed to something that you can just use as far as whether it's plaster, whether it's just, whatever, to create. Because that was some wild scenes or whatever. That must have been a couple of, probably about 4 or 5, 6 bodies,
To not even know that you was next to dead bodies.
Yeah, that's wild.
The whole time in 2006 is when you found out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not in 2006. She said that in 2006. Sorry.
Yeah.
Another one too is
who knows when she actually found out? I mean, it might have been down the road, because again, she wasn't trying to do that.
You didn't want to tell nobody.
Exactly.
Like the movie the Ouija.
Okay. Yeah.
It came out 2017, 18, no 16,
Mm-hmm.
17. And that one takes back in the 80s, I believe. But in the movie they're using a Ouija board. So are they using a Ouija board to pretend like they're using a real Ouija board to the point that you're conjuring up shit?
Here's the thing, dude, about a Ouija board. A Ouija board, anything is a real Ouija board. If you can spell it out, if you can draw it with a crayon, if you draw it with a marker, if it's printed out by Parker Brothers, it don't matter. If the whole setup is there, it's live action. You know what I'm saying? You as again, because I don't mess around with them, but
live action when you start the process of playing it.
Exactly.
So it could be like, you're starting up a reaction to like the spiritual realm when you're doing it on TV, and you're doing those motions of, what the Ouija board does, the planchette does, that could be on those sets of movies. You could be opening up shit that, you didn't even know until you get home. And then next, the lights are flickering, your paintings and pictures is falling off the wall.
Exactly.
So, and then it's like, what's going on? Why is all this shit happening? And you go to work, and then you're doing on top of demonic ass shit that's gonna conjure up all the spirits.
Exactly. No, exactly. I had even a viewer or a listener, depending on where you're checking this out, on YouTube, Strange Darkness Radio, or our Facebook fan page, which is Strange Darkness Radio. But a listener was like, hit me up in Messenger and said, hey, they have an app, for for the Ouija board, and you can play with people, online. I'm like, I'm good.
Way. That's crazy. For real?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on
What's
that.
the name of it?
I have no clue. I don't know. I was like, no,
that is
I'm
crazy.
good.
What the hell is like a community of Ouija board people?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure. That's how it works out there. But yeah. So yeah, that's the whole. Any more on Poltergeist besides just the overall craziness? That the old lady, whatever, the short lady, she was like, this house is clean. Go ahead. What's up?
In 2009, there was a second cast member from the original, Lou Perryman. He played a small character named Pugsley.
Okay.
I don't know. So he, at the age of 67, he was killed by ex-convict at his own home, killed him with the axe.
Oh, damn. That's a
and this is
horrible
later
way
on,
to go.
after the movie, after the original movie.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy ass coincidence, or is it like a kind of a curse that happens not at the moment of the first couple of years of the movie coming out, but years later the movie came out and you still kind of got the curse of the Poltergeist.
Yeah.
It could be that, you just don't know. But who are we to know what the higher realm is, or the higher powers of doing things like this? We don't know. We just do it, and then then we have the repercussions of it afterwards.
Exactly. No, that's true. That's true. Like you say, bad juju.
It is, for real.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into the Omen.
When the Jews return to Zion, and a comet fills the sky, the Holy Roman Empire rises, and you and I must die. From the eternal sea, he rises, creating armies on either shore, turning man against his brother, till man exists no more.
Now, the Omen, man, there's some wild stuff that went on with this movie. This movie was out there, period, as far as just, you talking about whether or not, you do you believe in the devil or do you believe in evil? Before we even get into anything, I want to go ahead and play something that I think puts and shines a light on just how much craziness was going on. We're going to play the audio by Richard Donner and Harvey Bernhard, and crew members recount disturbing events that happened during the shooting, and then we'll go ahead and talk about it. So let's go ahead and check that out.
All during the picture, there was strange things happening. And it was an aura of not being welcomed. I mean, the devil was I really sincerely believe that the devil didn't want the picture to be made.
If we had been making a comedy, you would have recalled all the funny, great, ridiculous, silly moments that happened in that film. If you were doing a love story, you'd remember all the times somebody left their wife, no one fell in love with the dead body. You're doing The Omen, anything that happens on that film. You don't tell about the jokes, you don't tell about the love stories, you don't even think about it, but you think about anything that coincidentally could have been something to do with The Omen. So we had lots of them.
There were all kinds of incidents during the shooting of this film, and the newspapers thought we made them up.
Peck's plane was coming over, a TWA flight that was a direct flight from LA, everybody was always on, it got hit by lightning. 3 days later, David Seltzer was on the same flight, his plane was hit by lightning. I was being let out of my car by Harvey Bernhard, out of his car to go into my house, and some guy came along and whammoed the door, slammed me in between the two, and miraculously I didn't lose a leg or anything.
We were in the midst of the IRA bombing all over London, and we had reservations at a restaurant an hour before. Scott's, it was blown up. The Green Park subway station was blown up as we were walking toward it.
We chartered an airplane, a Hawker Siddeley. We had no money. We were going to shoot with it on the ground at this small airport. We got a call from the people and said, listen, we have a full charter that day that if you let us charter out, we'll give you the plane for practically nothing. Well, sure, go ahead and use it. That day, they used it. And they took off. The plane hit a flock of birds. The engines quit. They lost airspeed, crashed on to the end of the runway, went down into the street, hit a car and killed everybody in the car. In the car were the wife and 2 children of the pilot. True story. Every newspaper has it and everything else. The Omen. The Omen. I mean, it could have happened to us. If we had been shooting that day, maybe it would have been us.
We had an emergency landing in Newfoundland, and we were carrying the negative. And I said, I don't think we're going to get back.
We shot at the Windsor Wild Safari Park. We shot a sequence with lions that never made the screen. The day we left the lion compound to go into the baboon section, the guard was in his little booth. I guess left his door open. 2 lions came in, attacked him, and killed him. That day,
John Richardson was on a bridge too far in Belgium. He's our special effects man. He had a beautiful girlfriend. He was driving and had a head-on accident and beheaded his girl. And John is the one that he invented the beheading of our picture. And so his girl was beheaded, and then he woke up and he saw Liège, 6.6 kilometers. That was frightening.
We had all these things happen. Are they omens? Because is there something bigger? I say no, it's just incredible coincidence. There are those that would like to think about it and that it's something more. And when the publicity department and Fox got their hands on it, we all said, yes, it's the Omen because we're selling our movie.
I must admit that at first I thought, well, this is a really exciting idea, but I really don't believe in the devil. Even though I'm a Christian, I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe my salvation depends on believing in the devil. I think it depends on believing in Jesus Christ. And I told that to a famous theologian I was having dinner with one night. And he said, look, he says, if you guys go ahead and make this movie, before you are done, you will believe the devil exists. And he was absolutely right, because as I'm sure the other fellows have told you, so many bizarre things happen. It's almost as if somebody didn't want this picture to be made, because the number one lie of the devil is that he doesn't exist.
Did evil win? If you believe, yes. Did we have a lot of problems with a lot of religious nuts who said you can't have evil win over good because it's the devil? Yes, we had that. But if you have those that believe the material, as I did, that this was just a lost little child who was adopted in a hospital, and that Gregory Peck had to be totally insane at that last moment of his life, or how else could he drive a knife into a child? That had to be. Then if you had that attitude, then the child lived. And but did evil win over good? That's your choice.
That's wild. That is that's this movie. The stuff that happened in this movie, that goes into, is it cursed or coincidence?
That's legit.
I mean, because so much that happened. I mean, to me, the guy who created the special effect of the person being decapitated with this this sheet of glass, and it took them forever to get that all situated and set up and even make it happen and look real. And then his girlfriend gets killed the same way.
It's the exact same way.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I mean the guy getting killed by a lion. I mean that's wild. I mean there was so much stuff going on. So much stuff.
Go back to the lady that died. They got decapitated. He claims that on the crash site there was a sign pointing to it was a sign saying it was a town called Omen, 6.6 kilometers away. 6.6 kilometers away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Weird shit.
That's crazy. That's wild. Period. The hellhounds they used as, Rottweilers, they were just, trying to kill everybody on set. Even the trainer, it's just wild. I mean, they went to the zoo, the monkeys attacking, everything not acting normal, what I'm saying, acting sketchy and like they had a sense of something else that was happening or going on, during every time they would film. And man, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy the amount of things, the lightning strike that struck like multiple different planes at different times, with different, be it the director, be it the actor, be it whomever on there. It's just wild. So, to me, those go beyond just coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just so many different things, and it's like a lot of accidents that are like lead up to death and being life imitating art, dying the same way as in the movie.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And the production to begin with, before it even started, was having issues. there was reports that Gregory Peck's son, so he shot himself in the head in 1975, just 2 months before the first day on set.
Wow.
Which is crazy. This is before the movie even started, that it's already having this bad energy, this bad, juju.
Yeah.
To the point when you go into the movies, when you make the movie and afterwards, all these people going through this shit. And animals, they're always the first one to kind of like really feel. They have like their senses is crazy because they always feel when something's not wrong.
Yeah.
Before we even do.
Yeah.
Because when you're at home and say you have like, something going on that you can't see, the cat or dog, they're acting stranger than they usually are.
Yeah.
And then you don't even know what's going on until something happens and it's like, okay, that's what they was tripping about.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So I mean, yeah, so again, that, like I said, that particular movie is one of, probably the most, out of all the movies even out there, that's just thing after thing. And again, serious incidents, serious circumstances. And, and that's just with the first one, not that we didn't even get into, what was going on with the second. And, but yeah, it's always crazy.
The remake has similar, not similar, but they have some crazy stuff going on, with the remake, too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay. So yeah, let's, go ahead and take a break and we'll be back.
Welcome back to Strange Darkness.
That was the quickest break in history. Not really for us. We kind of chilled.
Just a little tinkle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's get into, you have, Tony, semi Halloween story or just a creepy situation that you want to talk about?
More of a creepy situation.
Okay.
So my friend, she told me like it was like 5 years ago. We was talking one day and we're talking about The Exorcist because she doesn't like The Exorcist. It creeps her out, just like when Reagan when she fully gets possessed.
Yes.
She hates that. She hates that scene, and she really doesn't like the movie. She don't like seeing the picture of Reagan looking like that. She gets terrified.
Yeah.
So when she told me this, she had read the book probably years before. She was reading the Exorcist book. She said she had to stop because every time after she started reading it with some time, I think she was halfway through the book. Weird shit was always happening.
The book is probably actually more detailed than the movie.
Yes. And she said I had to stop because weird shit will always happen. Things would be moving. I would see people, people moving not next to me, but on the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
She said it was just hella creepy. So I told her, I was like, I want to read the book. So she gave me the book, and I didn't read the book. I was actually pretty scared. I had it with me. I had it in my car for about a couple months. And I kept telling myself, read the book. And I was like, I don't know, man, because if shit started happening, I'm going to be spooked out. So I ended up giving the book away, which is crazy.
Oh, so you never even cracked it open? You never even tried it?
It was in my trunk. It wasn't even in the house, bro. It was in the trunk.
Dang. You should have tried it. I've never read a horror book.
I never read a horror book.
Read a lot of Stephen King books, a lot of, that stuff, whatever, but not The Shining when I say Stephen King. But no, I'd never really read a horror book.
Well, that might be one you want to read because she said that one. Shit,
no, I'm
was
good.
Crazy.
I don't know. I mean, now that might be a challenge, so I might have to because that might be a challenge just to.
Because what if it was just her and her environment, and when you read it, it's like it's nothing. It's just a book.
Yeah,
but maybe because her apartment is already haunted. So, maybe while reading the book in that haunted spot was what made it, the energy get more bigger and greater.
Yeah, we gotta talk to her, have her on, man, and get into those creepy moments because I mean, again, is it really haunted or is it just a situation where, trick of the light? You thought somebody was passing, couldn't find your car keys because you just forgot where you put them, opposed to, they were moved or, a ghost was sitting on them, that whole thing. So I'd be curious to, to talk to her and just to see, see what's going on, there and what her stories, are. And if it's something that, she can, articulate to us, that would be great.
I'm going to talk to her, see if she's willing. Because I have a whole text message of what happened to her and her kid about a couple months ago. So I got to look back and look at my text messages because she went into detail of what happened and what freaked her out, which was pretty crazy. Because I read it at work one day and I was like, holy shit, this is creepy.
Yeah. So that actually leads us to, hey, people out there, call in. We want you guys to call in Strange Darkness Radio and, hit us up on Twitter, all that good stuff. And then, so basically, you can tell your story and, we don't want you to be afraid to come on and to articulate your thoughts and everything else. Because again, at the end of the day, if, you don't sound right, things don't come across correctly, you yelling at the kids in the background to be quiet and all that, we're not just going to play that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to okay, that person's probably going to call back and leave a better message and articulate what they're trying to say and what's going on. Then we'll, put it on and play it and all that good stuff. So yeah, we want you guys to, go to iTunes, go to iHeartRadio, go to Spotify, subscribe, leave us a review. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what we need to, change, fix, or spruce up on, all those good things. And, just so we can, keep it moving. Just like, you guys don't like telling your stories, I'm going to tell a story that happened to me on one Halloween, night. So just like the same thing, call in and, go ahead and do your thing. This is what it will sound like. It's time for one of Bobby's short stories. This one actually is a Halloween story. So before Netflix, we had the good old blockbusters, Hollywood videos. You actually had to rent a video, go out, get a VHS tape, slap it in, all those good things from back in the day. So, me and my buddy went out to get some Halloween movies, for a creepy night of movie watching. And we arrived at Hollywood Video. Everything was fine. It was rather foggy that night. But we pick out, some, scary movies and all that stuff. Head back to the house. We start going down this long stretch of road, right? Headed back to the house. And in the distance, we see what appears to be like a floating white figure. And we're like, what is going on? What is this? I'm like, dude, do you see that? He's like, yeah, I see it. I'm like, what the heck? And we're going about 15 miles an hour. We slow it down to 10 because I'm like, what's happened? What is this? As we get closer, we can see it's a nightgown, silk white nightgown. The wind was blowing. It was rather foggy. We see flowing hair, long flowing hair, all white. As we get closer, we see a frail white lady, very frail. She was probably at least in her 80s. And it was extremely foggy. And it was like she was feeling her way down the street. And we're like, okay, something's up with this. Like, is this real? Like, is this a ghost or is this a person that's lost? Like, what's happening? So being that, it's two brothers at around 11:30 at night, we're like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to just go to the pad and go get the girls and, come back and see if she's still here and maybe get her some help or find out what's going on, So what was weird is she was headed down a particular street and it was like she was feeling her way down the street. She had no shoes on at all. And we're like, okay, let's hurry up and, I don't think we had our phone. This is back in the flip phone days, before smartphones and all that good stuff. And I don't think we had our phone with us. We probably had pagers. This is how far back this is. And we, get to the house. We'll tell the girls like, hey, you guys need to come with us. There's this lady. She's walking in the streets or whatever. It's really foggy. She's like feeling her way down the street. We need to see what's going on, right? So we go back to the street that we were at. And we're looking for this lady. We're looking for lights on in particular houses or whatever, because again, she's really small and frail. She ain't going, far fast. And she was nowhere to be found. We don't know if she was a ghost. We don't know if she was lost. We don't know if she had dementia and she just, whoever, her loved one found her and, took her back home. But, I always get caught up in crazy scenarios like this. Like the ending is like, okay, well, what happened? And at that time, trust me, we were not about to pull over and say, ma'am, can we help you? That wasn't about to happen. But, so like I said, we went, got back up, came back, tried to look for a couple streets, couldn't find her, and who knows, man, she could have been a ghost. Never know. That was a creepy Halloween story. And that was actually on Halloween night. So it couldn't have been somebody playing a prank, only because, trust me, it was not makeup. She was extremely old and there was no kids or no one else doing any trick-or-treating around that time at that particular, in that area at all, actually. So who knows? I'm out. So yeah, that was my Halloween story back in the day. I want to say that was probably somewhere in the 90s. But also, hey, I want you guys to go ahead and leave your own story at 916-741-3032. Just again, drop it on the Strange Darkness Radio hotline. And if you want to go ahead and just send us an email and tell your story that way, and we'll read your story and all that good stuff, you can do that at strangedarknessradio@gmail.com. And then also you can hit us up on IG. Tony, you got that IG handy?
Yeah, man. Strange Darkness _radio.
Yes, definitely. Hit us up. Hey, we're, again, we just wanted you guys to tell your story and, just see, different experiences that are out there, and you might come across some that you actually, will be like, dang, that happened to me. So you never know.
Yeah, also hit us up on Instagram for any requests of what we should cover, what we should talk about, and we'll get that going for you guys.
Yes, definitely. So for the last topic, I want to cover something that's very interesting. It is 7 creepy things that happen to your body when you watch a scary movie. Let's get into it. 7 creepy things that happen to your body while you're watching a scary movie. Number 1, your fight or flight response is triggered. Watching a scary movie causes your body to respond by going into fight or flight mode without the viewers even realizing it. It starts a stress hormone flooding the brain. Number 2, your heart races and you may even burn some calories. Some stress hormones get your body ready to either fight for your life or make a break for it. You can burn up to 113 calories in one movie setting. Number 3, you get eerily still. Freezing in place, you may feel yourself tense up and freeze in your theater seat while the killer searches the room. Number 4, your senses are heightened. You feel like prey. Your body responds like there's a real predator in the room, not just on the big screen. Number 5, you might get nauseous or need to, excuse yourself to the restroom. Centuries ago, When early humans were constantly threatened by predators, this kind of reaction might have helped them make a quicker escape. If you feel some bowel pressure coming on, or maybe an intense bout of nausea, your body may be ready to get rid of excess waste so you can run away. Number 6, the immune system works harder. A study from Coventry University compared the amount of white blood cell levels of normal, not totally frightened control group to the levels of a group watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For the first time, after watching the movie, viewers had more white blood cells in their blood, higher blood pressure, and higher hemoglobin concentrations, which suggests that the immune system is in overdrive, trying to protect your body while stressed. Number 7, you actually leave feeling pretty good. Dopamine is released as the brain comes down from all those stress hormones, which of course feel warm and fuzzy after an hour and a half of fear. But for some people, experiencing a sense of risk actually improves their outlook on their lives. Those are the 7 creepy things that happen to your body when you watch a scary movie. Yeah, so that goes into why people enjoy, horror movies, because
that makes sense.
Just all those different things that happen to your body and that you feel, because like it's like a skydiver or adrenaline junkie, just that whole thing or whatever that people want to be frightened, take those crazy rides at Disneyland and everything. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those, man.
See,
go ahead.
It's crazy because I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh man. But no, when I watch movies, I do get clampy. My hands get clampy, my heart starts to race, and I'm stuck. And I'm just like,
yes.
And it's really crazy because I look at my hands, I'm like, holy shit, especially at a tense scene, I'm just like crunching them and then my hands is all sweaty and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. It is so odd. But in going over all of this information, as far as the movies go, coincidence or, curses, is there things really going bump in the night or behind the scenes of movies? Because, in the whole movie realm, actors and man, they be doing some wild stuff, man. They got some wild practices and people they be praying to that aren't God. That they got some wild things going on. So you never know. You never know, man. It's a lot of deals that are being made with the devil for some people to be in positions that they're in. So
I believe that. Yeah,
so it is wild. And, it brings us to a chapter, a Bible chapter verse, which is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be alert and sober of mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So just because, like the guy says, whatever, the devil tries to create the best trick there is to he doesn't exist. He's not there. Like these are happenstances and small things, whatever, that are going on. But all the while he's lurking in the background, to do some things, whatever. But again, that's why we're here, to figure out and find out what's really happening behind the scenes and what's going on, and to explore the unseen and all that good stuff. So this is our Halloween special, people. So again, Tony, any parting words or anything? What's up?
Oh man, I said first one.
Yeah, first one. Again, this is all the work in progress, people. You know what I'm saying? I said some crazy words and read some crazy things and all that or whatever. It's not all perfect, but we're getting there.
by episode 50, man, I might sound a lot better than what I do now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
Sometimes when I'm talking to in person, we talking, I don't freeze up as much.
Yes.
But for some reason, when I'm here, I'm always freezing up, and I will get better.
Hey, I will tell you guys this with Tony Carr. Wait until you hear his stories. You talk about a man who will bring you in, go in depth, and the detail and the articulation of what transpired in certain circumstances with loved ones, people he knows, and everything else. Trust me, you're going to want to hear what that brother has to say. You know, for sure, it's gonna be off the hook, man. So, it's coming. It's coming. Well, again, go subscribe, tell a friend, give us a call. I want to hear from you. If you want to be on the show, hit us up, email us. We'll schedule a time for you to come on. We're looking for tarot card readers. We're looking for psychics. We're looking for people who just have the gift of gab, and actually looking for people to work on the show. So hit us up on strangedarknessradio@gmail.com or on the IG page or the Facebook fan page. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere.
And please don't forget to leave a comment on rate us on iTunes, wherever you guys
iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're out there. We're everywhere. We're worldwide. We got a lot of listeners. I want to thank all the Australian listeners. I want to thank the Swedish listeners. I want to thank the listeners from Japan. I want to thank the listeners from Canada. I want to thank the listeners from California, everywhere. I want to thank everybody for listening and taking the time out to let us grace your radio, stereos, homes, cars, all the above. And, more to come. Man, I don't even know what the next show is going to be about, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, man, it's going to be great.
Exactly.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yes, Strange Darkness Radio. We're out. And again, we don't have the presidents today because it's a Halloween special. You'll hear from them on the next show. Peace.